Finland's Prime Minister's salary is 20,000 Singapore dollars per month. A cleaner's salary there is about $3,500. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, unfortunately, there are a lot of things that are broke in the PAP system, which I laid out in my last video. And if you haven't watched it, please make a point to do so. In this video, I'm going to tell you the SDP's plans and solutions to fix what's broken. But as before, I want to preface this by asking you to donate to my campaign by buying a ticket to the Bukit Batok fundraising dinner at Orange and Teal. Please go to the description box below and visit the website to register. And the most pressing crisis that Singaporeans face is the cost of living. And going up together with it is our stress levels. Simply put, we need to bring down the cost of living. And here's how. Number one, don't increase the GST. Bring it back to what it was before, 7 or even 5%. And also, abolish GST for basic necessities like oil and rice, school supplies, and medication. 2. Stop increasing prices for public goods like bus and MRT fares, healthcare, water, etc. 3. Lower BTO prices by introducing the non-open market BTO flats. The reduction in revenue from these and other such initiatives would be offset by measures like imposing a wealth tax and reinstating estate duty for those selling their good class bungalows. Now, these are among the other proposals in our 10-point plan that the SDP has drawn up to lower the cost of living for ordinary Singaporeans. Please check them out in our policy paper titled A Better Life for All. It's available on our website, yoursdp.org. The government must also be prudent and cut its wasteful spending. The Founders Memorial, which cost taxpayers $335 million, or the $40 million debacle over the Simply Go system, or paying mayors millions of dollars in salaries for doing God knows what, are examples of wasteful spending. For the PAP, it's easy come, easy go as far as your money is concerned. We must stop its habit of spending big and then taxing big. The second problem area that the SDP is concerned about is our population growth. On this matter, our first priority is to encourage more births among Singaporeans. How do we do this? Repeatedly, Singaporeans tell us that it is the cost of living and stressful lifestyle that deters them from wanting to have babies. So the obvious thing to do is to lower the cost of living, which I've just described. The next step is to reduce the influx of foreign PMETs. Overcrowding is a serious matter that affects our quality of life. Now, studies repeatedly show that overpopulation results in a reduction in fertility rate and a deterioration in mental health. These studies also show that living environments with more green spaces produce healthier people. They improve mood, concentration, stress reduction, and recovery from mental and physical stress. Now, data is clear. Overcrowding is a serious impediment to a high quality of life. The ministers seem to know this because they live in luxurious, good-class bungalows with huge green spaces within their compounds. In the meantime, they clear forest after forest and pack us into stressful and sterile housing estates that do little to help the TFR. But don't we need a growing population if our economy is to expand, you ask? Well, let me tell you a story. Back in the 1970s, back in the 1990s, the then tech giants Kodak, IBM, and AT&T employed more than nearly 700,000 workers between them and collectively generated about $200 billion in revenue. Today, Apple, Google, and Facebook, the new tech giants, generate 27% more in revenue but employ only 200,000 people worldwide. This is the reality, folks. As technology races forward, fewer and fewer people are needed to generate more and more profit. Innovation and productivity are the key in the digital and AI age. But here in Singapore, we are still laboring under a low productivity, low innovation, low wage, and high manpower model. Hence the PAP's eagerness to bring in more and more foreign and low-wage labor. In this era, this approach is a non-starter. But can Singapore really survive with a smaller population? Not only can we survive, we can thrive with a smaller population. There are real examples to show you what I mean. Take, for instance, the case of Finland, a country of just 5.5 million, a population smaller than ours. Finland consistently ranks as the happiest country in the world according to the World Happiness Report. Now contrast this to Singapore. 49% of Singaporeans report feeling depressed to the point that they feel sad or hopeless almost every day for weeks at a time. That's half of our population experiencing depression. Now think about it. And not only are the Finns happier people, their productivity level, not surprisingly, outstrips ours. So does their TFR. How do they do it? Well, experts tell us that the most important factors that make Finnish people happier and more productive are: 1. Equality. The Gini coefficient, which measures income inequality, is 2.7 for Finland, while it is about 4.5 in Singapore before government transfers. In economic terms, that's a huge difference. They may not have as many billionaires in Finland, but they also don't have as many poor people as we do in Singapore. Now, the second factor is that Finland's government is focused on the people's welfare and well-being, not on itself. At the heart of Finland's success lies a system designed to ensure that every citizen has access to quality free education from early childhood through to higher studies, comprehensive universal healthcare, and proactive social safety support. Here's what I mean. Finland's Prime Minister's salary is 20,000 Singapore dollars per month. A cleaner's salary there is about $3,500. A quick calculation shows that the PM's salary is just 6 times more than the cleaner's. In Singapore, Mr. Lawrence Wong's salary is $180,000 a month. But the poor elderly cleaner here earns only about $1,800 a month. The Prime Minister in Singapore earns 100 times more than the cleaner. And this is what I mean when I say that Finland's ministers look after the people rather than themselves. Now, the third factor is the political system. Finnish people say that the high level of democratic governance is the foundation upon which the trust and happiness is built. Transparent government institutions and active civic participation have all contributed to an environment where government authority is balanced with public freedom. In Finland, there is no POPMA, where the government can order a correction notice, and no Public Order Act, when even one person holding a smiley face placard in public is prosecuted. Now, nothing of what I've just said should be construed as Finland being a perfect society. The point that I'm trying to make is that a small population can thrive if the government is enlightened and not greedy. Other examples abound. Sweden, for instance, has a population not much bigger than ours, but has produced world-class brands like IKEA, H&M, Volvo, Spotify, and artists like ABBA. Luxembourg, with a population of just 600,000, has produced 2 Nobel laureates. Norway, 5.4 million population, produced 13 Nobel Prize winners. Sweden, population 10 million, 31 laureates. Switzerland, 8.7 million, 26 winners. In Finland, 5 Nobel laureates. So, repeat after me. Size does not matter. A smaller population is not a barrier to achieving big things. Don't let the PAP fool you on this. In fact, experts liken population growth to a Ponzi scheme, which depends on making more money for the few who control it by adding more and more members to an organization. Joseph Chamey, a former director of the United Nations Population Division, pointed out that governments advocate population growth so that they can gain financially. He said, according to Ponzi demography, population growth means more people leading to increased demands for goods and services, more material consumption, more borrowing, more on credit, and of course, more profits. But when the bubble eventually bursts, that leaves the general public to pick up the tab for the mounting costs from increased population growth. Friends, the SDP is offering Singaporeans an alternative vision, an alternative model that will take us into a future of greater security and happiness, where every policy is crafted with the citizens' well-being in mind. Choose this model, rather than the one where we toil under stress and a high cost of living. Choose the model that emphasizes happiness as our goal, not the mindless pursuit of GDP growth at all costs. Choose the model that prioritizes equality, security, and democratic governance, which are the key to a productive and innovative community. Let's build a Singapore that stands tall on the pillars of these values. You have the precious opportunity to make this choice in the coming GE. Please don't squander it. If you share our vision, then register for the fundraising dinner for my Bukit Batok campaign. Go to orangeandteal.sg and book a seat and help me get into Parliament to start building the vision that we all want for our beloved nation. I hope to see you at Orange and Teal. Take care, everybody.